On March 11, 2020, Dr. Tedros of the World Health Organization uttered these infamous words.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
The first case to arrive in the United States did so via Seattle.
We want to show you how this all started. The local man flew back to SeaTac on January 15th from China. It was not a direct flight to SeaTac Airport. We are still trying to find out where that connection happened.
We were told that this once-in-a-lifetime event would allow for a great reset.
We have an incredible opportunity to create entirely new sustainable industries, investing in nature as the true engine of our economy.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to reset and accelerate efforts to improve the state of our world.
A well-spoken but obscure YouTuber named Tim Osman noticed a similarity between our real life and what happened in a 2018 episode of the TV series Colony.
There's a lot of talented people in this colony. Put them together, we could do some real damage.
A war is coming, and our planet is going to be the battlefield. Seattle is going to be ground zero for the reboot of civilization.
The Colony episode in question, as chance would have it, was Season 3, Episode 11. This led Mr. Osman and his associates to refer to the events of 2020 as 3/11. This may seem like a harmless wordplay, perhaps an ironic take on what was, otherwise, a very serious event. But what happens if we inspect Season 3, Episode 11 of other television shows? Seinfeld, Season 3, Episode 11, is entitled The Alternate Side. It first aired in 1991. In this episode, Jerry's car is stolen. George becomes a car parker, and Elaine dates a much older man. It all seems rather innocuous at first, but let's take a closer look. Jerry's car parker explains that he's taking a break from the job for a short period.
Jerry, you got insurance, right?
Yeah, but no car. I'll have to rent one.
Well, I'm going down to visit my sister in Virginia next Wednesday for a week, so I can't park it.
This Wednesday?
No, next Wednesday. Week after this Wednesday.
But the Wednesday 2 days from now is the next Wednesday.
If I meant this Wednesday, I said this Wednesday. It's the week after this Wednesday.
There's a heavy emphasis on next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday. The clue being given here is to consider the second Wednesday. Later, when Jerry is in line to rent a vehicle, in order to replace his stolen car, Elaine excitedly tells Jerry that she has a new boyfriend.
I'm in awe of his intellect. When he talks, it sounds like he's reading from one of his novels.
Owen March. I never heard of him.
Owen March. Let's put these two pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together. Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday, i.e. the second Wednesday. Remember, this is Season 3, Episode 11. And remember that Tedros made his infamous announcement on 3/11. If you were to look up right now, March 11, 2020, what would you find? 3/11/2020 was the second Wednesday of March.
We have therefore made the assessment
Next Wednesday.
that COVID-19
Owen March.
can be characterized
Next Wednesday.
Owen March.
as a pandemic.
This might seem spurious, a mere coincidence perhaps. Now consider what we were told was happening to people in China when the illness first spread. Now let's consider what happened to Elaine's new boyfriend, the conspicuously named Owen March.
Oh my God.
Oh, call an ambulance.
So how could it be that in an episode we already suspect of bearing bizarre parallels with 3/11, we see that the March character is suddenly collapsing? It doesn't end there. In the first 7 seasons of Seinfeld, episodes would contain short clips of Jerry performing on stage. Season 3, Episode 11 was no exception. Here's the closing scene of the episode in question.
I think the best part of a relationship is when you're sick. And the best part of being sick is when you're in a relationship. But if I was to get married, you know, all those vows for richer or for poorer, for better or for worse, all I need is the sickness. That, to me, is the most important one. Do you take this man in sickness? That's the only time I need somebody there. The rest of the time, go out, have a ball, do whatever you want. But if I get the sniffles, you better be there.
So how could it be that in an episode with a reference to the second Wednesday,
Next Wednesday.
and an emphasis on a character named March,
Oh, in March.
who later collapses suddenly and requires paramedic attention, Jerry's closing bit should be about illness?
All I need is the sickness.
Before you arrive at any conclusions regarding what you've seen thus far, there's more to factor into the equation. Which global celebrity was the first to be announced as having been diagnosed with the deadly illness of 2020?
Actor Tom Hanks says he and his wife, actress Rita Wilson, have been diagnosed with COVID-19. Hanks posted a statement on Instagram saying the two were traveling in Australia when they were tested. The post read in part, quote, "We, Hanks, will be tested, observed, and isolated for as long as public health and safety requires." And
by his own words, Tom Hanks was the corona canary in the coal mine.
But why me as host? Well, for one, I have been the celebrity canary in the coal mine for the coronavirus.
Tom Hanks first posted to social media about his diagnosis on March 11, as reported by Associated Press. Yes, this was the very same day, 3/11, as Dr. Tedros made his infamous proclamation.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Within 24 hours, Tom Hanks' diagnosis was worldwide headline news. We'll come back to Tom Hanks in just a moment. Let's consider another clip from Seinfeld, Season 3, Episode 11. Early in the episode, Jerry's car has been stolen, so Jerry uses his own home phone to call his cell phone, which is located in the car. The car thief answers and refuses to return Jerry's car. Kramer asks the thief to do him a favor.
Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Kramer.
Hello, Kramer.
Listen, there's a pair of gloves in the glove compartment.
Wait, hold it. Brown ones?
Yeah. Listen, could you mail those to me? Or bring them by my building. It's 129 West 81st Street.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Now let's return to Tom Hanks. In 2011, he starred in a film entitled Larry Crown, where his character, Larry Crown, returns to school and is affectionately known by his classmates as Lance Corona.
You? Lance Corona.
Recall the method by which Tom Hanks, in our real life, announced his illness to the world.
Hanks posted this statement on Instagram. Hanks posted this statement on Instagram. Hanks posted this statement on Instagram.
So how could it be that in an episode of Seinfeld, Season 3, Episode 11, which we already suspect of containing multiple allusions to 3/11, we see a joke about missing gloves,
There's a pair of gloves.
resonating with the first celebrity who would be announced to have the illness on 3/11.
Hanks posted this statement on Instagram.
Is this all just a coincidence? The Kramer glove joke was not merely a throwaway line in the episode, it became a running gag. Here is what happens at the end of the episode. Jerry's car has not been returned by the thief, but something else apparently has been returned.
Wait a... Oh, for crying out loud.
The clue being given here is to consider the significance of the gloves to the overall subtext of the episode. This brings us back to Tom Hanks. In January of 2020, as the mystery illness was reportedly beginning to sweep through China, Tom Hanks received the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the 77th edition of the Golden Globes. Here is a portion of his acceptance speech.
It's those moments as an actor where everybody I have ever worked with has helped me get to that place. Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it's 11 at night, in which you just have to somehow put it all together, have faith in what the process is, and go there.
3 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night.
Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it's 11 at night.
Did you happen to notice which actor was on screen as Tom Hanks spoke of 3 and 11?
Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it's 11.
None other than Rami Malek, who co-starred alongside Tom Hanks in Larry Crown, the film where Tom Hanks' character was known as Lance Corona.
Lance Corona.
And that's not all. There's an important clue in Larry Crown, which needs to be seen to be believed. I'll show you that in just a moment. What we've looked at in this short video is just the tip of the 3/11 iceberg. You can find much more information in the info box and comments section below. Now back to 3/11. We know that Dr. Tedros made the following statement on 3/11.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
We know that the first reported case into the USA was via Seattle.
We want to show you how this all started. The local man flew back to SeaTac.
We know that the reported spread of the illness led to calls of a great reset of civilization.
A chance to reset.
We know that Season 3, Episode 11 of Colony somehow bizarrely correlated with these themes.
Seattle is going to be ground zero for the reboot of civilization.
We know that Seinfeld Season 3, Episode 11 features a reference to the second Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Of March.
Oh, in March.
We know that 3/11/2020 was the second Wednesday of March.
Next Wednesday.
Oh, in March.
We know that the conspicuously named O in March collapsed suddenly. We know that the episode ends with Seinfeld speaking about illness.
All I need is the sickness.
We know that the episode also features a running gag about gloves.
There's a pair of gloves.
Oh, for crying out loud.
We know that Tom Hanks announced his positive diagnosis on March 11 with a glove reference.
Hanks posted this statement on Instagram.
We know that Tom Hanks was, by his own testimony, the celebrity canary in the coal mine of Corona.
I have been the celebrity canary in the coal mine for the coronavirus.
We know that just weeks prior to his diagnosis, Tom Hanks mentioned 3 and 11 in a speech at the Golden Globes.
Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it's 11 at night.
We know that Rami Malek was shown on camera at the very moment Tom Hanks mentioned the key numbers 3 and 11.
Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it's 11.
Now let's consider what happened in Larry Crown when Tom Hanks, aka Lance Corona, didn't show up to class one day. Keep in mind what we were told that some guy ate in China, which supposedly led to 3/11 in the first place. And for your final clue, don't just focus on what Rami Malek says, focus on what he is wearing as he says it.
Who's cutting my class? Where's Larry Crown?
Remember, you got the flu. Remember, you got the flu.